Hey y'all, I'm Lisa. Welcome back to Black Coffee and Grits. It's been a few minutes. It's been a whole month. Oh my goodness. October flew by, and here we are in November. I hope you're ready for all the fall things. I have a lot to show you today. I'll be honest, I'm coming to you super casual, as you can probably see. This was the best I could do for you today. I have been having a month. I think I finally turned the corner. I hope. Yesterday was the first day, probably since I saw you last, that I was pain-free. I had a major fibromyalgia flare-up after taking the prednisone, and then the doctors put me on another steroid pack, and I was hoping that I was just gonna bounce back and everything was gonna be amazing, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I'm still waiting on some blood work results. Hopefully I'll know what those are tomorrow. I'm trying so hard to get this figured out, but I think for right now it's just fibromyalgia, which is not fun. Not fun at all, to say the least. I didn't get a lot of stitching done. I have a lot of days. This is the first time in a really long time that I had so many days where I didn't get to stitch at all. I just did not have the energy. I would say besides the pain, I was just lacking energy, and I would sleep. Some days I took a nap for 2 hours, and some days I slept for 8 to 10 hours and still needed a nap. So, bleh, bleh. That was October. And I'm sporting my World Champion Texas Rangers hoodie today. It is finally hoodie weather. I love hoodie weather. It's my favorite. And while it's going to get back in the 80s this week, I think I am headed to the Smoky Mountains. So I'm going to leave the Texas weather behind me and go hopefully enjoy some real fall. Actually, it's been real fall all week. We got down in the 40s. It was chilly. And yeah, several days that were highs in the 60s. So it's been fun. I took the top off on the Bronco so I could enjoy that nice crisp fall weather. Ask me how that worked out the one morning when it was like 50 degrees when I was driving to brunch to meet Michelle. I was cold, y'all. I had the heater on. I had the heated seat on, all the things. But don't worry, the top is back on. I'm not going to drive all the way to Tennessee with the top off. That would be insanity. Okay, I have a lot of cross-stitch stuff to show you. I also have a little bit of sewing stuff to show you because I got my sweet little quilt back from my long armor. So I'll have that to show you, and I did make a project bag, so I wasn't completely worthless, but I just felt like I didn't have my normal amount of days to stitch. There was also a lot of doctor's appointments in there. Between me and my dad and my mom, there was a lot of doctor's visits. So hopefully November is looking up and we have a lot less of those doctor's visits and a lot more stitching time. Since I'm headed to the Smokies, I hope to get a lot of stitching in while I'm there, and I'm super excited about that road trip. And I'm going to take a day to drive part of the Blue Ridge Parkway, so I'm super excited about that. Okay, let me get into showing you some finishes. I did get an FFO done. Remember last month, I think it was last month, Michelle, my sweet friend, Making It with Michelle on YouTube, she helped me. This was our What a Pal stitch. We did an exchange, and I'm still stitching on her witch. Her witch didn't get finished. I'm sorry, Michelle. It just didn't happen. But your witch had a big dress with a lot of patchwork. But Michelle helped me get this finished, and I used some Agatha Road fabric for the background in this sweet little frame that I had picked up over at Goodwill a while back. I thought it was so cute. Looks like a pumpkin with the little metal stem and leaf on the top. And Michelle had the idea to put the orange fabric in the back, and the stitching turned out super cute. This is with my needle and thread bobbing for pumpkins, and I stitched it with a mix of the called for and a mix of some substitutions because I didn't have, my LNS didn't have exactly what was called for. So we just did something close, and I stitched it on 32 count Hazelwood by Fiber on a Whim, which is one of my favorite fabrics. I think it really turned out pretty. And I got that cute little, I used crochet. It wasn't really crochet thread. It was some kind of cotton that I had on a spool for the little banner. You ran that through there. I don't know. I did an okay job on that. I tried. I love Brenda's little details, but sometimes I'm not as crafty as her. Okay, but that turned out cute, and I felt accomplished getting an FFO. I'm like, where can I sit this? It's already time to start getting out all the Thanksgiving things, but I'm gonna be honest with you. That is probably not gonna happen for me before I go to stitching in the Smokies. I might get out a couple of little pieces and swap them out. A lot of my Halloween things are pumpkin-y. So a few of the Halloween things I swap out for like Thanksgiving things. But I'm not going to go too crazy because I just don't have the energy for it. And the boys, let's be clear, I won't be here and they don't care. I mean, they think it's cute, but they don't care. Okay, so one of the other things I started and finished but didn't get to FFO is another Brenda Gervais piece with Thy Needle and Thread. It is Holiday Hoopla-Thanksgiving. And I picked this up when I was down at the Tinsmith's Wife. I just saw this little model hanging on the wall and thought it was absolutely adorable. So I kitted it up with some scraps and just some floss from Stash that was like similar to what was called for because I wanted to stitch it up right away. And I'm going to tell you, this took me, normally this would take me like a day or two to finish something this size. This took me 6 days to stitch. This is just how I just didn't have any gas in my tank. This was just a leftover piece of linen, so I'm not sure what it is. It was a scrap, but I think it's 32 count, and I stitched it 2/2. Like I said, just picking my own colors from Stash. And then I had this cute little hoop. I want to find some brown ribbon to finish that off the way that they did. I thought that turned out so cute. So maybe I can, I don't know, again, probably not going on any shopping adventures, but perhaps while I'm at my Smokies retreat, I can look for some ribbon or when I get back. I don't want to be telling lies. Let's be real. I'm going to be doing good to get my stuff packed and in the car and drive myself to the retreat. I'm going to take it slow. That's my plan, is just to take it slow. Just like I've been living my life in October. Nice and slow. Okay, I had another, was this a start and a finish? Or was this just a finish? This was just a finish. Okay. And if you're coming with me to the retreat, close your eyes, okay? Because I don't want any spoilers. If you don't want to see this, this is going to be my Smalls Exchange piece, not for the retreat, but just amongst friends. So if you are amongst my friend group for the Pinker and Pumpkin Smalls Exchange swap, close your eyes if you don't want to see this, okay? But I have to show it because this is the majority of what I stitched for the month because I just didn't have enough energy to do all the things. It turned out so cute. Okay, so we as a friend group decided to choose a Pinker and Pumpkin free pattern. They have tons of free patterns on their websites. This one is called the Old Crow, OLE, Old Crow Saltbox, and I think it turned out adorable. Again, I used, what fabric was this? I think this is Lugana Mushroom in 28 count. And I just picked, again, my own colors based off the picture, but just things that I thought looked pretty. I definitely used black coffee and grits. And then a mix of some DMCs and some overdyed flosses. I had some color and cotton that I threw in there. I used Laurel Wreath and Maize. Laurel Wreath is the green, and Maize is the sunflower color. Now, for the actual house, I used DMCs. So I thought those popped a little bit brighter. So I used 729 and 782. 782 is the main house color, and the accent color is the 729. So it turned out adorable. I had a lot of fun stitching it. If you are super detail oriented, you may notice that my windows are smaller than what was on the pattern. I was not counting and just decided to wing it and go for it. So I didn't want to back anything out after the fact. So just kept going, and I think it turned out cute. It's proportional, so it didn't make that much difference. So, okay, one of my favorite parts is how I ended up finishing the back. This was some fabric. I believe I got this fabric from Hobby Lobby. It was in my stash. We had a little dog break. Son, good morning visit. Don't look so crabby. The life of a mom. Okay, so back to this. I was in the label club from Sweetwater, and I got this cute little custom label that has my name on it, which I thought was so perfect and adorable. And I love the fact these are iron-on. So it just ironed on really nicely, and it covered up, you know, the Frankenstein stitches where I filled the back with the polyfill and the, I used a little bit of lizard litter. Walnut, crushed walnut shells is actually what I used. So I love the way this turned out. I can't wait to do the exchange with my friends. It's going to be a super fun time. I think is this my first smalls exchange? I think maybe it is. I don't know. I did one other time. In my first retreat that I went to, I did an ornament exchange. So I'm excited about that. Having fun playing with my floss over here. Okay, so that was the majority of what I stitched on, because obviously I have a deadline and I needed to get that done. And I did get it done well in time, but that was my focus piece for the month. That wasn't really my plan. I really wanted to stitch on Halloween stuff, and I had a ton of Halloween stuff and a ton of not whips. I do have a ton of whips as well, but I had a bunch of projects kitted up that I just could not get to. They will be there for me next year. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little better, a lot better. Okay. I did get to start this. And this is not a gigantic stitch. I don't have all my stuff here. My apologies. Things are a little bit of a wreck. This is Byron Blackbird by the Artsy Housewife. And if you will recall, I had this kitted up on a beautiful piece of fabric. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to know the name of this. And this is how I live my life. This is literally a needle. Okay. I need to tell on myself. I'm having problems keeping needles on needle minders. There's actually a needle literally stuck halfway through this, mid-stitch. Okay. Again, this is the way I live my life. I'm going to grab the project bag real quick so I can give you the details on the fabric. Okay, so ordinarily I have a decent memory. It's not great, but when I'm having a fibromyalgia flare up, it causes like serious brain fog. So I just can't remember hardly anything. I've got this in this cute little pumpkin bag that I made. I did find the cutoff. I actually cut off my fabric, which is something I don't normally do until I'm like, I've got more of this stitched. But I did cut off my fabric. What is this fabric, you might ask? This is 32 count Spellbound from Color and Cotton. It is linen. I just really love the modeling in this. It's just a really, really pretty plum, kind of smoky fabric. I thought it looked amazing with the colors that we ended up picking for this. I did not use the call for colors. I just used colors from Stash. I have a little bit of Color and Cotton, of course some black coffee, some TMCs here and there. Kind of just pulled colors based on the picture and then what I had in Stash. So I got started on this and I probably only did like 2 days worth of stitching on this. Is that true? Yes. A couple of days of stitching on this. So I got down here to this leaf part, and this fabric that I was using is not fabric, floss is tadpole, and it got really dark in this one area. So I didn't really love that. So I think I'm gonna pull that back out and rework that section just a little bit so that the variegation falls a little bit prettier. Do you guys ever do that? Sometimes it's tough when you're using variegated flosses with how it ends up landing. So, so not a ton of progress, but a little bit. And I feel like this is one of those projects where it has like fall colors, but it's not, and it has, I guess that's, I don't know, is that supposed to be a pomegranate or is that supposed to be a pumpkin? I think in my head it was a pumpkin, but I don't actually think it is now that I'm looking at it closer. I was looking to see if it said anything about that, but it doesn't. Maybe it does on the inside. Are you guys good about reading all the things in your patterns? Like, I'm not. I'm terrible at it. Sometimes after the fact, I'm like, oh, whoops. They said to do this or do that. Didn't do that. Okay. I don't have to put all these things back in these project bags. I'm looking at all the other things I did, and I didn't get to do any reading this month either because I didn't feel good and my library book got returned, and so I am reading The Man Who Died Twice, and I just ordered another copy of the book, so I don't have to share it with the library anymore. It's all mine, so I can take my sweet time reading it. You know what else did not happen? I did not stitch on any of my backs. None of them. Oh well. Such is life. I really wanted to focus on like Halloween stitching. Okay, the other thing that we had going on this month, which was unusual, was we went to a wedding, which was really fun. But we had like a rehearsal dinner because my husband was in the wedding, and then the wedding itself, and the way that I'm feeling, that was like an all-day affair. I couldn't do anything else. Okay, what else did I stitch on? I stitched on Halloween Quaker. Would you like to see that? I did stitch on 2 Halloween projects. I stitched on Halloween Quaker, which is in this cute little cat bag. What do we have here? I think this was a PDF pattern. This is Halloween Quaker from Lila's Studio. I started this last year and I am really enjoying stitching on it. I only got to stitch on it for 2 days, but it was enough to finish a motif. Here are some more needles with thread, and at least there's thread to help me identify the needles. I don't know what is going on with my throat. All of a sudden, it's like dry and scratchy and horrible. My apologies. Okay, I have a note card, so I can tell you that I'm stitching this on Seraphim Haunted 32 count linen. And I love this fabric. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love all the colors and the modeling in this. It is similar to Murky, but I actually wanted to stitch this on Murky because I saw it at the Stitch Niche stitched up on Murky and it was really awesome. But I couldn't ever find a piece of Murky that had the purple in it. And so I chose this Haunted, which has a lot of purple, a little bit of gray, some green, kind of just has everything. So that's not a good view. Let me go back to folding this. Okay. Needle minders that have needles with thread hanging off. I'll take that down. So it is obviously a Quaker piece, and I worked on this motif right here, which is stitched up in Blackbird. And I'm loving all of the flosses in this too. So for the floss, I ended up choosing a mix of called for all the neutrals, and then I used for the colors, I picked from Color and Cotton when I was there and kitted this up some of the bright colors. So particularly, I absolutely love Purple People Eater. And that is what I used on the witch's hat. Do I have any of the green on there yet? There's a tiny bit of the green, which is avocado. I do have these all called out on Instagram. I'm pretty sure, 99% sure. I know I posted a picture this last year because I remember completing the witch right before Halloween or on Halloween. And then, yeah, got another big motif in there, and that took me just 2 days. So I must have been starting to feel a little bit better. Or maybe I was just like bound and determined to stitch. Ask me how much I've growled at my family this month. I've been a bit grouchy. Wow, I just found 3 needles. Now I know where all my needles have gone. Do you guys ever thread up a needle and then sometimes I thread up multiple needles so that when I'm switching colors a lot, I can just go back and forth and don't have to keep threading another needle. Pro tip, lazy trick. Oh, my Pinker and Pumpkin pattern is in here. I was actually wondering what would happen to that. I have several Pinker and Pumpkin patterns that I printed out. Because I'm giving that one away, I don't know if I'll stitch it again for myself, but there were several other really cute ones. And I don't want to show them to you because it's actually the pattern. But I will show you this. Pinker and Pumpkin Quilting. She has a hashtag. I would love to see your stitch. Please tag me on Instagram. And she's got this Pinker and Pumpkin quilting hashtag here. I'll be sure to do that. I'll do it after the retreat in case my friends were avoiding watching this before. I am going to give them a warning before I post the video. I don't want a spoiler, but I felt like if I didn't show it, I wasn't going to have much to show you. Because I was so puny. Okay. Yesterday was actually the first, and on Halloween, I actually got this out because I was like, I want to stitch something else Halloween. This was another start from last year and a really cute. Whose bag is this? Shiba Designs bag. Shiba Designs is in Canada. I almost didn't want to bring up Canada. So I was watching the World Series last night. I really wanted to see them win. Y'all, that was sad. They lost in the 9th inning. I mean, I guess props to the Dodgers, but I really wanted to see those Blue Jays win. I watched a lot of baseball in the month of October. That probably kept me sane since I wasn't able to stitch. Okay, this is a multi-pattern project. Lizzy Kate's Tingles is what it's called. I'm stitching it up all together. It's 6 patterns, 2 charts per little booklet here, and then you can stitch it individually as pillows, or you can stitch it all as one big long chart. I'm actually looking at this and I'm feeling a little bit better because I thought that I had totally messed this up. On the Lizzy Kate website, you can get the layout for the order to stitch these in. And even in the booklets, it shows you kind of an outline. I don't want to show it to you because I'd have to show you the pattern, but it shows you like a little outline border around the pattern for how to like line them up. And I was thinking, what is wrong with me? Because mine didn't line up. And now I'm sitting here like almost counting the squares, and I don't want to do that while I'm filming a Flosstube. But I was like, this doesn't line up the way I thought it was going to. But now looking at the back, I think I did all right. Okay, stitching this on a beautiful piece of linen fabric from Color and Cotton called Hay Bale Medium. It's like the perfect neutral tan. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So I have finished one of the little books. Last year I finished the Ghosties and Ghoulies. And I do think this is off a little bit. I think maybe I miscounted a little bit on this tree. But when I look at the picture, the line for the second pattern is down below. So maybe it's a couple of stitches off. But I think we'll be able to fetch it and make it work. So this month I did the haunted house block. So it turned out so cute. And this is a mix of the called for flosses. Wait, am I telling? But I subbed black coffee for the black. I used some of the overdyes and some of the DMCs. And then I pulled in just a bright pop of this turquoise because I liked it. I have these all kitted up on really cute floss drops that I made. I love it when you have a theme and it's like all cute, but I don't always take the time to do that. I do it whenever I think I'm going to be working on it for a good long time. So, okay, there is a completed block. It felt good to get that done. And I'll be honest, yesterday I was like bound and determined to finish that block. And I might have grouched at some people for interrupting me. Sorry, Will. Sorry, Tyler. Sorry, Blanco and Bingo. Everybody got a little bit of grouchy. Mama. Okay, so sorry. I have to grab a Kleenex. Obviously having a little touch of allergies. I'm taking the Allegra per doctor's orders, so I don't know what's going on there. Okay. That's it for all the stitching. I'm going to show you a little bit of sewing, a couple of sewing projects that I did, and then I got a lot of haul. So thankfully, I have a haul to make up for my lack of stitching this month. One Saturday, I was in the mood. Actually, so Michelle participated in like a D-stash sort of with her quilting stuff. Oof, and I don't know any details about where that was. Somewhere up in Plano. But at one of the quilt shops up in Plano, she was participating in a D-stash. And so she called me up before and said, will you help me price all this stuff? And I was like, yeah, because I knew I was going to get to look through all the things that were going to be for sale. Don't ask me how much of it I brought home. That is actually not part of the haul because I immediately put it away because it's like it didn't happen. But one of the things that I saw in her haul was this adorable little charm pack called But First Coffee. And it's by Katie Doucette, I think. Sorry, French is terrible. Not my language. This is WilmingtonPrints.com. And I'm sure this is like long out of print, but it is adorable. And I had to come home and I used my Lori Holt book. Should grab that for you as well. I was like, what book is this? Because Lori Holt has a ton of books. And this is actually the Spelling Bee book. It's the heart block in the Spelling Bee book. So, the heart block. And I just adapted it and made it into a bag. And I used so these mini charm squares are, I think, 5 by 5. Is that true? I can't remember. Anyways, the pattern called for 4.5. So I just cut these down to basically make it fit. And it fit pretty well on the front of the bag. I did have to shorten the length of this little top piece. Is normally a little bit taller. Part of that was because I can't remember. I think I cut something a little bit crooked, and so it had to get cut down to fit the back and not have to recut something else. I don't know if I'm making any sense at all right now. This is why I don't record tutorials for how to make these bags. Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch has a really awesome bag tutorial if you're looking for a bag tutorial. Michelle has taught me how to like piece the front of the bags and put them together. I think Elizabeth Ann has now another bag tutorial where she shows how to piece a bag front in addition to just how to make the bag and put it together. But basically, you put together your block and then you use like a stabilizer. Everybody has different preferences for what they like to use. And then you quilt the top of it. And then you use it to make a beautiful little project bag. So I had this cute little check in my stash, and it's called Lily and Will, which I thought was so cute. I believe it's a Moda. Have I since like thrown away the selvage edge? Probably. No, it's probably actually still in my stash, but I remember it's Lily and Will because I always thought that was like my girl name. So obviously Will is my boy name, but didn't ever have a little girl, but had that name in my back pocket. And so I thought this fabric was super cute and worked perfectly with that little mini charm pack. I'm using the Lori Holt zippers, which is part of my haul. So you'll see I already got into that a little bit. Oopsie. Hey, I had a productive day. I don't know, maybe this was one of the days I was on the steroids. Actually felt good. Phew, that was short-lived. Okay, quilt. Probably gonna have to stand up to show this. I have used Geek plus Quilting, which is Loide Wasmund, who lives up in the Sherman-Denison area. She is Michelle's mom, and so I am able to see her at sew days regularly, like once a month. So I pieced together this Hey Boo quilt. I think I actually pieced it together, I don't know, maybe even last year. But But I finally got my act together and got the backing. So she quilted it for me with these adorable little pumpkins, and I'm not sure how well those are going to show up on the camera. Not real well on the back on the stripe, but all the fabrics are from the Hey Boo line. Let me see, there's the little pumpkin. So she quilted it for me on her long arm, and I pieced it, obviously. Now, Loide, I appreciate you getting this done for me so quickly and well in time before Halloween. I just didn't feel good. So I didn't get the binding put on this. Sad face. I actually picked out some really cute orange. No, this is for my other quilt. Lying. That is for my my other quilt that needs to have binding put on it. This is what I'm going to use for the binding, is just the stripe again, which I love. I love black. Obviously, I love black and white, so black coffee and grits. This will get done, as well as the other quilt. Like I said, maybe November will have me feeling lots better. I don't know. It seems like I'm on the tail end of whatever flare-up was happening, but I am anxious to get those blood work results back and see what is going on. It was just a busy month. Okay, haul. I've got some haul because I did some shopping online. Because when you don't feel good, what else do? You sit online and shop. I have a Black Needle Society box. I think I'm well past spoilers for this, but just in case, if you don't want to see because you haven't opened your box yet, close your eyes or fast forward or something. So this smells so good, and I've been smelling this for days and days and days. This box was called Autumn Abundance, so of course, naturally, it was made for me. The first thing that I smelled in the package, I could smell this through the box, is a delicious candle called Stitcher Tomatoes. I love the tomato scent. I think it's so awesome. So I'm excited to use that finally. Actually, I have another tomato candle, so I might be saving that one for a later date, but I've enjoyed the scent of that, and it's been in my stitching room all this time. So that was the first thing I got out of the box. Everything's kind of in disarray because I already opened this, obviously, and showed it to Michelle, and then I put it all back in there so I could show it to you. It came with some specialty floss, some really pretty Gentle Arts sampler threads, the colors squash and corn stalks and beans. Super cute. So sort of a garden theme here. I can probably put these away now. Just keeping it all together. Trying. Okay. It came with an Artsy Housewife pattern. You know how much I love an Artsy Housewife. This is called A Study in Persimmon. And it's got the beautiful, is it a moth or is it a butterfly? I think it's a moth. I don't know. How do you tell the difference between a moth and a butterfly? I'm over here teaching science and don't know this. I'll get back to you. Will probably knows already. Will is like a walking encyclopedia when it comes to animals and things. Facts. Okay. The other thing that was in the box is a needle minder. Everything's falling, but this was already opened, but there's a little crinkle. Ooh, it's been taken out. I was trying to avoid the crinkle. It's a cute little pumpkin can with some sunflowers on the top of it. Hopefully you guys can see that. And what else was in here? Oh, there's a cute little charm that I've already given to my friend Michelle because she loves squirrels so much. Came in this cute little leaf bag. It's a little bag charm. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry, the glare. The glare on plastic is never good. I hope I can tolerate the glare on my glasses today with this whole video situation. This is the first time I've ever worn my glasses on a video. This cute little squirrel bag charm. Michelle can have that because she loves a squirrel. She absolutely loves a squirrel. Okay, the other thing that was in here, and I had to look this up. I was like, what is this? I'm thinking, is this something that you hang floss off of? Which, you know, I guess you could. But it's actually an herb stripper. So it's for like fresh herbs. So removing the leaves and the stems off of like rosemary, thyme, cilantro, that kind of thing. Which I do have a little herb garden. It's like about the only thing I can keep up with in the backyard back there. There's a cute little tomato pin cushion with the strawberry. And there was, speaking of thyme and herbs, some stitching thyme, a little pot with the directions for planting some thyme, and last but not least, there's a cute little reusable bag that says strawberry jam. It has the recipe for strawberry jam, and on the back is sourdough bread. Ooh, I love some sourdough bread. Even though I'm gluten-free, occasionally I can find some gluten-free sourdough bread. I keep wanting to try to get a starter, but I know it's a lot of work. Okay, so that was the Retreat in a Box from the Black Needle Society, which I have enjoyed, but I'll tell you, I did cancel it because sometimes I need a break from expenses. And we've got the holidays coming up, so it's supposed to be about other people and less about me. We all know. I know how to treat myself. Okay. The other thing I ordered was some stuff from Fat Quarter Shop. I went a little crazy one morning. Actually, this was definitely on the prednisone because when I was on the prednisone, I hardly needed any sleep, and I would just wake up and I would be like, I have all this energy, this burst of energy. I miss that girl. But I woke up and I got all these things accomplished. And Michelle was like, what are you even doing? It's like 7 in the morning. I was like, I don't know. I ordered zippers. Like I said, from Lori Holt. Already stole that one out of there for that project bag. I love these. I ordered some boring but necessary sewing machine needles. I had to have this bag charm. Oops, this is in the plastic. Ooh, it's gonna make a horrible crinkle. I'll try not to. I don't wear headphones when I watch videos, but I know some people do. Ugh, this is so cute. This is made for my pumpkin bag. Where is my pumpkin bag? I'm putting it on there right now. Remember this cute little number I made? This was made for it. It is like, some of these fabrics I think were Lori Holt fabrics. Michelle gave me like little scraps to make this. Oh, it's so cute. It's perfect. Okay. Can you believe I didn't get into this all this time? The truth is I just didn't feel good. Okay, so I'm going to make a quilt. Dad, close your eyes. This is a spoiler too. Not too big of a spoiler because I'm not going to flip through this because it's a mini charm pack and it's flannel fabric and it will get everywhere. But I'm going to make my dad a quilt out of this Prairie Gatherings flannel from Moda, and I love their fabrics. Last year I made my husband a flannel quilt, and it's a favorite in the household, so I make my dad one this year. Get my act together. There's some random floss here, some DMZs, and a classic Colorworks. I think this is used brick. I think that used brick is for something I've already finished, but I think these DMZs are for that Prairie Schooler Thanksgiving piece, which I'm still gonna stitch, so I can go put that with the project. And then there's a lot of fabric. Let's see here. I got some of the sticky circles mounting board from that quarter shop. I love these because obviously cutting around is very hard. So if you're doing your own finishing, these are amazing. Ooh, I really should have gotten this out beforehand. Sorry. Went a little nuts. Not too crazy, but I saw the mini charm pack of this Parlor from Crystal Manning, and it is adorable. And so I was thinking, okay, I'm probably gonna make a project bag out of this. So when you see this, you're gonna freak out. This line includes some really pretty colors, bright colors, and really fun patterns. And this one in particular, it's got little X's on it, like cross stitch in this floral. So I just thought it was adorable. A bit springy, bright colors, summery, but we'll get to that. And then the other mini charm pack that caught my eye was Night Owl by Gingerbread. And this fabric had some really cute snails and gorgeous butterflies. So I think I need to make a project bag out of this for some of those beautiful artsy housewife patterns, don't you think? Oh my gosh, I love it. I cannot get inspired by this. I must pack. You guys tell me to put this away and pack. Okay, one more quick little thing. Mom and I were at Kohl's, of all things, because of the weddings. We had to have shoes, and I don't remember exactly why, but we ended up going to Kohl's, and I found a couple of these little cute seasonal boxes. I use these to put like seasonal ribbon and things that are for finishing that are specific to a season in a box. I already had a really cute one that's sunflower, so that's going to be my summer box. I think I actually initially said that was going to be my fall box, but this one has pumpkins. It also has sunflowers as well, but the truth is my sunflowers really bloom in the summer. And then there was this holiday box for Christmas. Christmassy with poinsettias. So got 2 of those from Kohl's. Totally random. Totally random. I don't even normally shop in Kohl's, but they actually have a really cute like home decorating collection. You want to come up here? Come here and say hello. This is my Bingo. This is my good boy. Oh, yes. Yes, this is not the dog that got in trouble for barking earlier. Actually, let's be real, no one got in trouble. But this is my sweet little Chihuahua. One of them. The other one's a little sour. Not so sweet. Okay, I think that's it for now. I will be back at the end of November, and hopefully I will have gotten to stitch all the Thanksgiving things. I hope you all had a wonderful October, and happy stitching. See you next time.